taxi driver.
So he's doing all the work for us.
Yes.
Isn't sumac poison?
Go, hurry.
You're dragooning your mom into cooking for me? You don't stay in business long by poisoning your neighbors.
Am I right or wrong?
Crunchy textural notes. Little torpedo of joy. Those are like punk-ass loser American friends.
No money, no honey. Of course, my horse.
Would you wear like pasties and a G-string to the Vatican? Yeah, you probably would. God, I don't want to sleep.
You are talking dedi adamın kafasını bozuyorsun.
Yeah, like he said.
I'm Anthony Bourdain.
That's right.
I write, I travel, I eat, and I'm hungry for more.
No reservations.
Turkey has always been a mystery to me. A slightly threatening one, to tell the truth. Seldom portrayed well in the movies, a backdrop for nefarious international intrigue, scary prison melodramas, belly dancing, and meat on a stick, most of which held little allure for me.
That throbbing missile of love.
Don't get me wrong, I like meat on a stick just fine, but what I was completely ignorant of was how big, how diverse, how really refined the cuisine is in Turkey. Something I should have suspected had I bothered to think about it.
Absolutely delicious.
The Turks of years past, anyway, have always been such a strongly polarizing subject. Picture Turkey, and it's usually a series of stereotypical snapshots of hookahs, cruel mustaches, Gallipoli, and men in fezzes. What you don't really see, and I hadn't anticipated, was how modern Istanbul is, how young and, dare I say, hip, how clean the streets, my assumption being that with antiquity comes ancient grime, how thrillingly sophisticated the cuisine. Istanbul sits where Europe and Asia face off across the Bosphorus Straits, the capital of Rome's Eastern Empire. Later, the capital of the Ottoman Empire, rulers of much of the known world in North Africa, Asia, and Europe. And as happens with empires and conquering faraway places, they came home with good stuff. Much of it very, very tasty.
Day one, Istanbul. Breakfast with Fixer. You know, as this is predominantly a Muslim country, and I figured I wouldn't be doing a lot of drinking here, I have to admit I perhaps overindulged a bit on the flight over. I think the deciding factor was the in-flight film X-Men 3. That's the Brett Ratner one. You know, they use that guy as like weed killer. He'll kill anything that lives. He certainly killed that franchise. Oh, look, the Bosphorus.
Breakfast here comes highly recommended by our fixer, Esra.
You're now at one of the best places in the city to have breakfast, and it's actually one of my favorite places.
The Turkish breakfast, I'm about to find out, is a very particular thing. We're having the larger and more leisurely weekend version, which usually means a family thing to Turks.
What do you eat for breakfast here? Do we order or does it just come?
First, let's get our teas, because Turkish people are tea colics.
So a morning thing would be tea, not the coffee.
In Turkish, breakfast means kahvaltı. Kahvaltı means before coffee.
Ah, okay.
So we have our breakfast, then we have our Turkish coffee.
Aside from eggs with Turkish lamb sausage, we're talking a pretty impressive selection of sheep's milk cheeses, including fried cheese, way more different kinds of breads than are really necessary, but all of them delicious. Olives, you gotta have those. Fresh, sliced, and thoughtfully peeled tomatoes and cucumbers, accompanied inevitably by strong Turkish tea.
So this is full Turkish breakfast. The basic one would be just bread, tomato, and olives.
Right. Okay, so what do we eat first? The fried cheese?
I think we should start with that cheese. This is a special cheese from Cyprus. It's served warm.
Oh yeah, what's not to love about that? Salty, runny. What's this again?
That's kaymak and honey together.
Kaymak is basically clotted cream.
We should try this warm flatbread.
All right.
And we are making a kaymak and honey wrap.
It's kind of burrito-like. That's outrageously rich and sweet. For some reason I feel guilty eating this.
No, you should feel proud. Maybe it tastes better when you feel guilty too.
Oh, everything's better when you feel guilty. That's the sausage?
Yes, that's the Turkish sausage.
It's like merguez. I'm wondering whether the Ottomans brought this to Morocco or got it from Morocco.
I think it's also very common in like Eastern Europe, but the special thing about this one is like it's fully dry.
Yeah, the merguez is very wet.
What are your expectations?
You know, it's a blank page to me. If you were to ask your average American, what kind of food would you expect to eat in Turkey? They would say, well, we got a lamb on a stick, right?
Lamb on a stick. That's the stereotype.
Well,
It's reality, of course, but it's just such a small aspect of the huge cuisine. I know you're going to go to different places, have different types of food, but I don't think you will go to a home, will you?
you tell me.
Okay. If you want, my mom.
Oh, say no more. You dragooning your mom into cooking for me? I'm there. Yes.
Okay then. So they are bringing as a closure to our meal to make it more like a brunch.
Right.
So we don't need to eat for the entire day.
That was already my plan. And what is that? Pastrami.
And kashar cheese melted.
Right.
And tomato, pepper, and spices. It's a börek.
It's like a kosher hot pocket.
Think of it as croissant and coffee for you.
This is your croissant coffee? I'm not eating this every day. I eat like this every day. You need a block and tackle to get me out of my chair.